Steven, a really nice job yesterday coming in, seventh inning, bases loaded. You face Miles Straw. Let's go through the process of coming in that situation. As you're warming up in the bullpen, running in from the outfield, what's the checklist in your mind as you're coming in?
Really, I'm just thinking to myself, like, it's time to attack. It's time to get after this guy. In that situation, you got to get that guy out. Can't let any runs get in or allow him to get on base in any way. So that was just kind of my thought process. Just go right at him and hopefully get some weak contact or a punch out right there.
As you're warming up, as you're getting ready for whatever the situation might be when you come in, how aware are you of what's going on over the course of the game, batter and batter, and I guess more specifically, who you might face first when you come in?
Yeah, I'm constantly talking with Ben Fritz out there. He's kind of giving me the scouting report on the next couple guys. I had faced Straw the night before, so I already knew the attack plan. I didn't get it done the night before, walked him, and so I knew how I needed to attack him and got it done the second night.
Steven, the results, and we talked, I think, about a month ago about this, but for you, early part of this season, for the most part, have been really good. Now that we're about 2.5 months in, how would you assess your first 2 months and a half?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've thrown pretty well to this point. A few bad outings here and there, but that's going to happen. And so as long as you can keep those to a minimum and go out and put zeros up on the board more consistently, that's what you're looking to do. So far, pretty good. Can always get better, and that's what we're going to strive for here in the second half.
The numbers for the bullpen, really going back for about a month and a half, have been really, really good as a whole. As a unit, what do you feel like you guys have done well?
Honestly, like, we just have good chemistry together. We have a good time down there in the bullpen. We get along really well. We hang out a bunch, and honestly, we just pick each other's brains too. Like, hey, how would you attack this guy? Which pitches are you using here? As we're watching the game, like, just kind of setting ourselves up for success and kind of getting our minds in the right place down in the bullpen together.
Who are the guys that you typically talk to most in the bullpen during the game?
All of them. We're all there. We're all hanging out, and the banter is always good, and we have a good time down there. So it's a good group to be around.
We're joined by Padres reliever Steven Wilson as we get ready for tonight's game on our Eco Water SoCal Padres pregame show. I want to ask you about Nick Martinez, a couple of lockers down. Obviously starts the year in the rotation, goes to the bullpen, and at least for the time being, he's in really a traditional bullpen role. Sometimes he might go multiple innings, sometimes it might be one inning or just to get a couple of outs. What have you thought about what he's done this year for this team, going from the rotation to the bullpen and the results he's got as well?
Yeah, I mean, it even goes back to last year when he did kind of a similar thing, was in a similar role. Just a selfless teammate. Like, he's here and he wants to win, and he came back after last year, and there's a lot of guys that want to start, and they might throw a fit if they get put in that situation, especially 2 years in a row, but he doesn't. He just keeps his head down and keeps working, and it's great to have a guy like that down in the bullpen. He's got a lot of experience, not only here in the U.S., but also Japan. So, and he has learned a lot throughout his career. Went over to Japan for 4 years and then made his way back to the big leagues. So just being able to learn from a guy like that who kind of changed his repertoire, changed his entire pitching philosophy and mechanics and everything. He's learned a lot, and he's able to give us some of that information and knowledge that he learned over the years. So it really helps the bullpen out.
And then let me ask you about another one of your locker mates here, the guy to your left, Tom Cosgrove.
Yeah.
The results for him early in his major league career really have been terrific. Your impressions of what Tom has brought to this team?
He's awesome. It's great to have him. Him and I were teammates back in 2019 in Lake Elsinore. So, and then he went through TJ and came back, kind of switched up his repertoire as well. And it's fun to watch him. It's fun to see him succeed because he was a starter back in 19. So a little different role, different arm slot, different pitches, and he's getting it done, and it's been fun to watch.
Finally, you grew up in the Denver area. You and I have talked about it before, but when you go back to Colorado, play there, what's that experience like?
It's great. Growing up, going to Coors Field, and I remember being a kid standing up above the bullpen, and just watching the guys throw and being amazed by it. And so now to be able to be down in that bullpen and pitch in front of my family and everything is pretty cool. My grandpa just recently moved back there and saw me for the first time in the big leagues. So that was a pretty special moment in the last series.
What was that like, that game and having him there?
He was there for the first game, so not the one I pitched, so I didn't end up throwing, but just having him there in the crowd and be able to take pictures with him afterwards, he was pretty fired up. He had lived down in Florida since I've been in pro ball, so he hadn't made it out to a big league game, and it was pretty cool having him there.
That's awesome, Stephen. Thanks for sharing that. Stephen Wilson joining us on our Eco Water SoCal Padres pregame show. Stephen, keep up the great work. Always a pleasure catching up, and we'll talk to you again down the road.
All right, thank you.